All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room. Thursday, September 7th, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty well.
Got a couple special guests with us. First of all, if you've watched our show, you know who he is because he's been on more than anybody else. The ladies' man, Mike King. How's it going, Mike?
What is up, guys? You know, I got to do what I got to do.
Mike,
Hey, I'm ready to heal out on you guys interrupting me while I'm relaxing.
Mike and Blake Money Rice having a contest to see who's going to be on the most. Mike's ahead.
And then we also have President and CEO of Overdriver Llc, Mr. Overdriver Bill Wright. How's it going tonight, Bill?
A pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here for sure, and especially an honor to be here with Mike King, somebody I admire very much in the sport.
Okay, guys, I'm going to be straight up honest. I'm not real familiar with this app and stuff, so if you guys can educate us in this, it's got to do with pro wrestling, so I'm definitely excited to hear about it. Might just
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be my absolute pleasure to go ahead and inform you as well as the GWR and GSR universe. Overdriver LLC, what we're doing is we're launching an app in early 2024, and the mobile app is going to allow professional wrestlers, promoters, and fans to connect in a whole new way. And it's going to allow promoters to book wrestlers and other talents such as referees, managers, photographers, so forth, anybody that's involved in the wrestling industry, fans to be able to search the country for wrestling federations in the backyard, to be able to buy tickets directly through the app, and a lot of other tools that are specifically developed to help make professional wrestling run more efficiently, to synergize the industry, to make it more transparent and also more profitable. So our app is scheduled to launch in early 2024. We're currently advertising and building a community so that when you jump onto the app, you're not going to find two wrestlers or two promotions, but we are proud to announce that as of today, we're at 74 promotions across 25 states. We're right now in about half of the country with a presence, and getting very close to and intend to get over 100 promotions, which is going to give wrestling talent a whole new level of exposure, and fans, promoters, and talent a database that doesn't exist currently, but it's going to really simplify finding what you need or what you want in the profession, whether it's a wrestling school or merchandise or a ticket so that you can attend a live show.
could this possibly in the future make it easier for wrestlers to get on promoters' radar?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the overall idea, is that wrestlers would be able to sign up for a free profile and they would be able to advertise their finishers, their height, their weight, all the information that a promoter needs to know, where they've trained or what they're certified in, where are they licensed, giving us a database that makes it a lot easier. Right now, the common trend is obviously you have networks, right? And if you know somebody, you can say, well, hey, I need female talent. Do you know anybody? And that stays within your network. What we're trying to do is synergize those networks together so that you can find on a national database and then later internationally whatever you're looking for, whether it's micro wrestlers, tag teams, hardcore wrestlers, referees licensed in a particular state, or promotions, so that you can get found, picked up, and the opportunity to work for them, and fans to be able to find schools so that if they want to jump into the business, they know where they can get started and what is the most reputable school. We're going to have a rating and review system that's going to allow the industry to really start to identify the positives and the negatives within the business to really elevate people that need to be elevated, such as a Mike King, a ladies' man, or problems to kind of work themselves out over time by getting negative ratings if that's what it takes. Secure transactions to make it easier for talent to be paid, and there's even a commission affiliate structure built in so that podcasters can promote for their favorite wrestling promotion and make a little commission. Wrestlers can make a little commission. Referees can make commission. So a lot of different tools and more that are being developed for down the line, but this is where we're going to start.
Tony, you're talking about having the entire independent wrestling organization, period, in the palm of your hand.
The whole industry.
The whole industry, not just part of it. Back in the day, you used to have to send videos out to promoters on VHS tapes, or you'd have to email them and stuff like that. With this app, it'll all go away. That will go away. A promoter could literally click on a profile of somebody, say myself. They could click on my profile, and whatever I have uploaded on the app, they can see everything. Just like Bill said, they see my height, weight, promo pictures. If I put links for YouTube on there for all my matches, they can see my matches on there. They can see my babyface and heel matches, babyface and heel promos. Everything. It's all this bouncing around, wasting time, going between this person and that person, all that. It'll go away. It'll completely streamline independent wrestling. It's going to break wrestling. The app's going to break wrestling because how well it'll streamline it. And not to mention, like Bill said, it's going to give an opportunity for guys to make extra money too.
Yeah.
Because on the app, they'll take that wrestler, and that wrestler have a code or have a link that links directly to them.
Correct.
And they can put that link out there on their socials. And anybody that buys a ticket from that link, between the promoter and whatnot, however they have it out, say tickets are $12, and the promoter needs to really get 10 out of them. Well, $2 off each ticket goes back to that wrestler for everybody that clicks that link and buys a ticket from his link or her link. So now you're talking. Same thing with, like you said, with podcasters. Same thing with you guys. If you put your link out there and said, hey, this is going to be an awesome show coming up for DCCW, and I have it set up, you guys get $2 off each ticket, and people click on your link to buy tickets for DCCW, you guys are getting $2 off each ticket. It's going to break the system. I'm telling you. People are going to go, where in the hell has this app been this entire time? Why hasn't anybody thought of it?
I think that. Let me ask you this for a fan, because I'm a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I look at I've got family that lives in Chicago, and I've looked at some of their wrestling promotions, and some of the stuff that you look up's outdated. They said they have a promotion there, but then when you research it, waste your time to research it, they haven't ran a show in 2 or 3 years. So
right.
Same thing. And I've even looked in Ohio. It's hard to find places that are running or that are current. Would that app help with that? As far as a fan trying to find a promotion, like if I know I'm going to Chicago and I'm going to have extra time to find a promotion that might be running that day. Of course, they may not be running that day. You know how that goes. But to be able to find a promotion that's up and running and that not wasting my time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spending 30 minutes trying to find something that's not there.
Yeah, so 100%. We talked about promoters, we talked about wrestlers, and we have specific tools for them, but we do have specific tools for the fans, and of course, one of which is a database, like we've talked about. So that you can go visit your family in Chicago and say, hey, look, I want to see what the local wrestling scene is doing. So you'll be able to put in the zip code, or maybe you want to be more specific than that. And let's say you go to a big town like Chicago or Atlanta, New York, where you anticipate there's probably multiple federations. Maybe you're a Lucha Libre fan, or maybe you're a deathmatch fan, and you can specifically look for those tags to try to find what's in your area. And then, ratings and reviews will allow you to kind of see where the promotion is ranking currently, and what is the most recent rating or review to it, to help kind of give a timestamp on it. But I think we all know that the pandemic, it killed a lot of businesses, and it killed a lot of wrestling businesses, and finding them is not always the easiest thing. When I first got into the business, it was difficult to find a wrestling school in my area. And what we're trying to do is just resolve that, right? And that's why we're making it a free database, so that people can sign up for free. If you're a wrestler or promotion, wrestling school, you'll be able to advertise that. And then fans can, on one app, find whatever they're looking for. You'll also be able to pin that federation like DCCW, or your favorite wrestler like Mike, and then get a push notification anytime that they're booked, and the opportunity to directly buy a ticket from the link that's attached to them, because you've tagged them as a favorite promotion or wrestler. So this is going to make it a lot easier for fans to be able to find what they're looking for on what is going to be a universal database. And I think part of the issue is that some people have had some similar concepts, but they haven't had a community to back it up. And that's what we're working on right now, is building that community. We know that the house isn't ready to move in yet. But when it is, we need people to fill those rooms. We need tenants, and we need to make sure that promoters can find their talent and fans can find promotions and so forth. And that's why we're advertising as of now, and proud to be over that 70 plus mark in half the country. And we haven't even launched yet. So that's very exciting. You can only imagine how much this is going to catch fire when locker rooms are using it, when fans are using it, and spreading word about, the active app. And you can go to overdriver.org. Overdriver.org is our landing page, and you'll see some pictures of the app. You'll also see a video of the app, to kind of give you a better idea on some of those features. And we are doing a launch list where people can sign up, so we can notify you, let you know when it's going to launch. Also keep you informed with our contests. We're going to be doing a referral contest that we're going to be announcing this week, and that is going to allow somebody to win up to $200. They're going to win $200 for having the most referrals onto the program, and then one of their referrals will get $50 at random. So we have a contest, and those kind of contests we'll be able to update people on, as well as if you're signed up as a talent or a promoter, then we can connect you to our community, and we can start sharing, your information, highlighting you as talent, highlighting your shows, sharing them on socials as a professional courtesy until the app is up and running and able to really do the work for us.
I'm telling you guys, like any wrestler or promoter out there, even podcasters, we're also working in the backgrounds for when we do updates on the thing for booking agents. Me and Bill about that. That was one of the first things when we started talking about this that I brought up. To have in the palm of my hand every wrestling organization in the palm of my hand, and saying, oh, well, where's my guy? Say, I booked for Boogeyman. Well, Boogeyman's going to be in this area, so who else is in this area that might need him? It's going to be an awesome thing. But anybody that's in the wrestling business, there should be zero hesitation on this. It is a free app. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up. It doesn't cost you anything to maintain it. The only thing that'll end up costing, which I'm sure we'll probably get into in a little bit, is some of those updated things. Because you got to protect the business. You got to protect especially when it comes to booking WWE names and stuff like that.
Right.
We can't just have some Joe Schmo calling up and wanting to book somebody. So we want to protect the business. It'll cost a little bit to do that, but it's going to be a minute cost to the money that's going to be raised just through the app by booking a name. And
and like you said, as a fan, you'll be able to find what you're looking for. Right now, I see, almost every day I see a fan who's like, I'm visiting family here, or I'm on a work trip. Is there wrestling in this area? And of course, that hits your algorithm, which might be the 20 or 30 or 40 people in your network that follow wrestling or whatever, unless you have like 5,000 plus followers or something like that. And even in that case, algorithms limit your response. So instead of shouting out into the dark and asking the world, where's this at, you'll have a database that will help you find it based on your needs, price range, favorite type of wrestling, geography, and so forth.
Use all them filters. Everybody loves filters.
As a fan, I could see you guys brought up a wrestler. If you like this wrestler and he's on the database, and you can find out where he's going to be, because if say I'm a big fan, let's say I'm a big fan of Blake Money Wright, and of course I know he wrestles at WCWO or DCCW all the time, but a normal fan, of course, I know he wrestles a lot of other places, but a normal fan may not know that he's going to be 30 minutes away or 45 minutes away, and say, hey, if I knew he was there, I might have went and watched him. And that's going to help other promoters because that's going to sell them tickets. So being able to know who all these guys are, I think is very important. And I think the fans would appreciate that because have opportunities to see, to see their favorite star. I think that's a big plus. Also, I wanted to ask you guys, especially Mike, because you're in the business as far as wrestling and promoting. Do you think this could help a wrestler make it to a WWE or to an MLW or to NWA or any of these other AEW in these places? Because they could look at those databases and they can say, look at this guy's been booked everywhere. Look at his rating. Look at the tickets he's selling, or this, that, or the other. I could think that could help a guy. Hey man, look at this guy. He's wrestled in the last 3 months. He's wrestled everywhere, every weekend. He's one of the hottest stars out here. Let's bring him in for a tryout.
Tony, mark my word, Overdriver will be used as a tool from all major companies. I guarantee it. Whether they let it be known that, say, WWE will not have an account on Overdriver, right? It's not going to say WWE, and it's not going to say we're a promotion. They're not going to have a promotional account on Overdriver. But there's going to be producers, or there's going to be head people that's going to have a fan account, and they're going to have their eyes, and we're going to end up being a tool that they use to book guys. Because just like you said, you can get on there, you can see, Mike's been at 30 different shows in the last 10 days. He's just really hitting it hard. He's in great shape, blah, blah, blah. But, he's doing everything he can to push himself. And he's looking good. We need to reach out to this guy. And then they can go on the app and get my info and reach out to me through the app. I mean, it's a win-win.
It's a win-win, and it's certainly not that Overdriver wouldn't work with any of those companies. WWE, Impact, we certainly would. We certainly can, in the future, work out particular profiles that are verified for them if that's something that they want. But they may just have a P.D. Williams make a fake account just to scan it, because here you are with Paul Levesque, Triple H, saying that the number one resource in this business is talent. And what we're trying to do is pool all that talent in one place in a free database that you can download an app and be able to view whether you're a fan or you're a promoter or your talent. So, we're very confident that everybody in the business is eventually going to hear about it and utilize it to some extent.
As far as wrestlers go and promoters go, I know you guys are, how many did you guys are hoping to have by the launch date?
So as far as numbers is concerned, hoping to have, I think it's fair to say that we'll be somewhere between 200 to 300 promotions by launch. That's, a goal of ours. if we can get more than that, we absolutely will. Because again, it's free. Why not? Utilize so you can find all the talent that you need, and get another free platform for exposure. I mean, WWE, AEW, Impact, they're all on Facebook, they're all on Instagram, they're all on Twitter. What we're doing right now is making a social media platform that's exclusive to this business with tools designed for this business. And I think that's going to speak volumes in the end. I do apologize for the storm background noise if you hear that. But as far as it's concerned, it's going to be big for a wrestling fan, to every level of talent, and exposure is key. And if you want to get exposure as a wrestler, you can go out there and you can say, hey, Mike King's a great wrestler, and I think everybody should book him, put it out on Facebook. And I see some of these posts get no more than 6 views. Does that really help you? Does that get you what you're looking for? Or can you be exposed to, eventually 500-600 promotions at a time? Right now we're trending towards 100. By launch, we should be in the 200. At least that's what we're shooting for, 250 mark.
And we're going to have the review section on people. So you get some of the guys and gals out there that don't show up to shows, or show up and they complain, or they do a lot of things that hurts the business. Well, the review section is going to be right there. A promoter can jump right on there after the show. Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, or this might be something we might need to add to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
A wrestler from that show that wrestler was on, can they make a review about it?
Yeah, so the way it's currently, the version 1 is built so that you have to book through the app first, or be booked through the app, so that we reduce the chances of somebody going on there just to smear names, right? Because you have grudges in the business. We want to avoid that. Currently, it's promoters and wrestlers reviewing each other. Down the line, we do have the intention of implementing talent to talent reviews as well. And then even eventually, there is conversation about fans reviewing talents and promotions based on going.
That was going to be my question. If fans could get on there and review, like if I went and watched a promotion and it was just, this was my experience at this place compared to a different promotion.
Right. You should absolutely have the right to do that. And a lot of this comes from the fact that, and we didn't dive too deep into this, but Mike knows this. I have 15 years of being in the business. I've done everything from being a manager to a referee to a promoter to taking bumps and pile drivers from Cash Wheeler and working with Shane Douglas and Jerry Lynn. Like, I understand the ins and outs of the business with 15 years experience, and I have plenty to learn, but I've learned enough to be able to create this strategy and then to start moving into creating this platform that will help overall the business at large.
I do have a question, because I think it's good for people to be able to give the reviews and stuff. I think that's positive in a way, but is there going to be any safety measures to keep people from just getting on there and bashing somebody or bashing a promotion just because they don't like them? Because unfortunately, I think Facebook, of course, I'm part of Facebook and part of all this stuff, I think is great, but I also think it can be very negative. And I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm behind what you guys are doing, 100%. But I just don't, I just want to make sure that there's some safety measures where a promotion can't get on there and say that these people do this, these people do that, and it's not true. That's the only thing about the review side that I wonder about.
Yeah, and that's why we have it built currently. The first version of the app only allows promoters and talent to rate each other and review each other, and only after they've experienced a booking through the app. So we need a historical record to say that you work together, to then prompt you and say, okay, now that they've been to your show and you've paid them for the show, give them a rating, give them a review. And so by creating this historic based use, we're going to eliminate a lot of the old grudges, and you have to have an updated experience in order to justify it. And that's why talent to talent is going to wait until we do an update and figure out the best way to go about that, and why fans reviewing is going to wait until we make some adjustments and find out the best way to do that. So the first version of the app is just going to focus on talent and promoters as far as ratings and reviews. and only after they've used the app in order to create a booking, so that we can historically say, okay, so this isn't just a grudge or a rumor, like they did in fact work together. And we'll still have policies in place and best users where you can't attack people religiously, you can't attack gender and age. Like you have to be professional about this. This isn't about hating on people or feeding in any kind of mongering. This is about saying this person works and shows up on time. This person, came into work drunk and dropped one of my best workers on their head and got a 1 rating because of that. So we could start identifying the pros and cons and help people know ahead of time, because I know, having worked in the business, having drove state to state to state, and then find out the promoter's not going to pay me. And nobody warned me about that ahead of time. And there was no way to look up a 1-star review or a 2-star review and find out that this guy is a joker and he's a backyard promoter, versus, a Tim Toller or a Nick Nitro or, a Mike King that, will take care of people.
How many, just curious, how many times have that happened to you where you showed up to a place to wrestle and you didn't get paid? And
more than I care to count. I couldn't give you an exact number, but what I will tell you is that we've taken a survey before we really got too deep into advertising the app, because we wanted to make sure that there was a reasonable market for it. There was a reasonable acceptance in the market for it. And 89% of the talent, whether it be a photographer, referee, or wrestler, 89% of them have been screwed over in prior experiences by promoters. And 93% of the promoters claim to have been also screwed over by talent in one way or another. So it goes both ways, and that's why the ratings and reviews will be important both ways. As an industry, we need to be more transparent. As an industry, more efficient, and then hopefully more profitable.
What's the difference between like a like a fan account or a promoter account, wrestler account? Like you said, podcaster. Is there a big difference in like each person's account, whether you're a fan or a promoter or a podcaster or a wrestler?
Yeah, so Airbnb would be a good example. If anybody's familiar with Airbnb and you have, the app, if you sign up to it as a host, they have a slightly different view and set of tools than if you are a guest. We've done that on all 3 fronts. We have a promoter profile, wrestler profile, and fan profile. And just like Airbnb, we've talked to the guest. To the app company to make sure that not fans, but users can sign up and have all 3 accounts and be able to switch back and forth if they want. If you're a promoter, but you want to buy a ticket to somebody else's show, but you also, like Mike King, you wrestle, so you need to manage that schedule. The profile that's most complex is professional wrestler. Because a professional wrestler is, generally speaking, from a fan point of view, I think, and definitely from a promoter's point of view, you want more information. So we built in what we call the the announcer card, because at every pro wrestling show that I ever go to, I see the poor ring announcer running around with his head cut off like a chicken trying to get everybody's stats. So we figure if we just put it on Overdriver, then all you have to do is just search their name. You'll have all the stats. You can write it down. You're done, right? So all your stats and statistics and your acclaims, so that you can kind of push your career and your brand and whatnot, your finishers, your signatures, and then of course your links, that'll be there. Then you have your support talent. Support talent, you'll also have a profile, but you're not going to have the same level of detail as far as height and weight and whatnot. You'll have a more refined, this is where I work, this is where I'm willing to travel, this is what I do, picture, link. Same thing kind of with promoter. Promoter will have the name of the promotion, and then they'll have like their shows and their pictures and whatnot, but it'll be simpler than, say, the wrestler profile. And then fans will have a very simple profile as well. Fans can sign up as a guest if they just want to buy a ticket and pop out. They don't want to set up a profile, or they can set up a profile where they can say, hey, I'm a wrestling fan. I love this, and that, whatever. And then as time goes on, just like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Amazon, all those companies, they start somewhere and then they grow we have the intention to continue growing tools, continue adding features, and over time it'll get even more robust.
And okay, and like us, we'll go to like we go to DCCW. We live stream a lot of their shows,
Yeah.
and we go to a lot of other promotions here in the state of Indiana. And some of them we live stream, some of them we record and we air out later. Like, would we be a place on that app where like we could maybe, where it could connect us with the other promotions that are looking for maybe our services?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's kind of beautiful about the idea of the app is that you're going to also be able to kind of like, we have it listed out where there are like several jobs and you say also do, right? So you could have a professional wrestler who also moonlights as a manager or referee. So, you know, if you can't get booked on the show that way, you get booked this way. We actually have a spot, my apologies, long day, spot for podcasters in the support staff, because we know that podcasters are big on promoting their favorite wrestlers, their favorite shows. And part of the whole design of this is hustlers, right? If you're a major wrestling company, like let's say DCCW, and your average attendance is, let's say 500 people, and you're looking to take it now to 800 people, the two options you have is to spend more on advertising or create a sales force. And the idea of Overdriver is that you create that sales force through anybody who's booked on your app. Podcasters can be involved in that, and that's why we're putting them as a support staff. And you can be booked as a podcaster, but you can also say, but I also do photography, I also do videography, I also do sound design, so that you have more opportunity through that exposure to get booked by other federations for other jobs. And
I think we froze up for a second. We'll get him back. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with Mike King's connection out there in North Carolina in his hot tub drinking his wine. How's it going, Marcus?
I'm all right. You guys?
Doing good. I figured he was in Tennessee, maybe the Smoky Mountains with maybe some family members.
No, he's actually in North Carolina for him and his wife's anniversary.
I thought it might have been.
Said his anniversary is Saturday, so he booked a Airbnb for him and his
cool.
wife and his daughter for till Monday, I think he said.
That's cool.
Tell you what, this app sounds real interesting. It sounds. Oh, is he back?
I say I was snickering a little bit with some of the stuff he was saying about poor promotions, poor people working, locker room drama. I'm laughing because I've dealt with all that this year. So,
I know you missed a little bit of the beginning. Well, you might have been listening to it.
No, I just turned it on. I thought, well, I can get on there. It's like,
yeah, I think he's going to have. But no, I think it could be end up being a good thing for the wrestling business as a whole once it gets going.
Well, I think it could help us because people could find out. Because I mean, I'm not saying I know there's that one network airs people's shows, and I don't know how that works and how they make money or anything like that. But I don't know very many people that are doing what we're doing. We've done 43 shows so far. This could help us get out to more places. Also, I would love for us to get more interviews. If I could help that to get more people to get interviewed, because I think a lot of wrestlers don't know, and I think a lot of wrestlers are afraid to ask. And we can ask so many, but
well, he said he had a storm.
Because I don't think I don't think there's any wrestler out there. I think some wrestlers got it in their head, well, I wouldn't be a good interview. I disagree. I think that between me, Marcus, and Chris, we can bring out something that's going to be interesting. And not saying that we're great or anything like that. I'm just saying that I think something could come out. I'm not saying it's going to be an hour interview that's going to be the best interview in the world, but I'm sure that it can be interesting. And the fact that he's going to have family and friends get to watch, and it's also good experience for that wrestler to be interviewed if he has any expectations to go further in the business, because you're going to have to be able to talk.
And anything with the app, because right now he says they have 100, close to 100 promotions already that are going to be on the app by launch. In 2024, he's expecting 200 to 300. Well, if you have that many promotions in one thing that can look at all your, because and it don't cost a wrestler nothing to put a profile on there.
How many states did he say so far? 25. I forget how many states he said. I thought he said 25 states involved.
If you have, say I'm a professional wrestler, if I'm on there and there's 200 promotions, I mean that's 200 promotions that could view my profile, and it's not costing me nothing for my profile to be on there. So if you're a pro wrestler and you don't use the app, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage.
I think a promoter too, but that's a good question AJ's got.
Serious question. Do you think many of the independents in Indiana are willing to use this app and help each other? I would say out of like the wrestler wise, not talking about promotions, wrestler wise, I think probably out of the wrestlers I've dealt with and talked to, I would think probably about not 85-90% of them would.
Yeah. I think the promotions I don't know about at first, but if it's successful, I think they may not have a choice. I mean, if they want to keep moving in the business, I think if the thing becomes successful, I think that every promoter will. I mean, whether they'll start off, I don't know, but I think eventually, if it's successful, I think they will.
What do you think, Marcus? You've been around the independents here in Indiana longer than we have.
I think like you said, I think 90% is a good number of decent running promotions in Indiana. You're going to have those, and we can name probably can name at least two that wouldn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, like, Kelly and I travel. If we hit a certain spot in Kentucky, Illinois, or somewhere, it's like, hey, is there a show here tonight? I kind of like that idea too.
Or is it worth going to? Is it, it's going to have information to tell you, hey, this show is junk. No, don't. Hey, I can stay home and watch. I can stay in my hotel and watch something on TV, not waste my money, or
not even go in that area. We'll go somewhere else. So.
Or the other thing is, you like you said, you can find out. Hey, you could even you could look and say, hey, we've been thinking about going to Tennessee sometime in the next month or so. You could look and see when them shows are. Hey, there's a show. 2 shows that weekend. We're free that weekend. Won't we book the hotel and we'll go down there to Tennessee or Kentucky? Perfect. Wherever. Michigan. Anywhere. I
think to me, out of what we got to talk about so far, hopefully we can get Bill back here. Oh, there he is. I think what we talked about. I think the hardest thing to monitor is going to be the reviews, especially when you get to the point of letting. Well, I was going to say fans, but some promotions will bash other promotions just to bash them.
Well, see,
so I think that.
I think what you almost have to have there, in my opinion, you would
almost we got Bill back now.
Yeah,
well.
But I think what you almost would have to have, if a person put up a review or something about a promotion or a wrestler, I think that it'd have to be an editor who would look at it before the thing went out. It wouldn't be a deal where it just went out. Just went out. Yeah, moderator before that thing went out. That that person could no, they can't say that. And before it went out.
But I'm sure there will be a spam filter on it too, right, Bill? I'm Marcus.
Hey, Marcus, it's nice to meet you. Sorry, we were talking right over you. Your intro there. I apologize.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm sorry. Where did you guys lose me? I think the thunderstorm messed this up.
I think you froze him up now.
You remember where he was at?
No, I don't.
I
don't remember where you was at when you froze up.
Oh, I got you. All right. Well, in answering your question, the ratings and reviews are currently built through historic use. So a promoter has to book a wrestler, and the wrestler has to be booked by the promotion for them to get prompted. And the payment and the date of the show has to pass before it goes. And that's why we're working on creating a similar kind of historic system to allow talent to talent, or to allow fans to review talent or promotion. So we can't allow that until we perfect those systems. And they're not ready yet. But the promoter to talent because of the historic use, will be fine. That will eliminate any spam issues because the system will know that the date is done, the payment is done, and that they did in fact work with each other. And as long as they follow the guidelines of the respect necessary to be passed throughout, it should be fine.
We had a question from AJ who's watching, said, will there be a moderator or a time delay before a post goes public?
So similar to Airbnb use, similar to that kind of a system, like once you have completed the job, then it's going to prompt you. And then once you fill that out, then it'll post up there. And we will be moderating as much as we can, but certainly we'll moderate complaints more than anything is a high priority if that comes, about early on. As the company gets bigger, of course, we'll get more employees and more security systems in place. But as of right now, I think we have about as secure a system as you're going to possibly be able to create to eliminate promoters trashing other promoters, because you can't do that because the promoters won't be able to rate each other. You'll have to be a talent that was booked. That date and payment has to pass before you get prompted to do the rating and review.
Have you had any negative pushback from any people that you've talked to, promoters or wrestlers or anything who
or kind of stuck in their old ways
or skeptical or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, you're never going to make 100% of any business happy, but I think when it comes down to it, to make the strongest statement possible, yes, there's been a couple of promoters that, just like they do to talent, they'll leave you on red, right? You'll say, hey, I got a free app that I'm developing. It's going to give you access to these tools. It's going to access the talent, and they'll leave you on red. They don't respond, right? Or they'll ask 2 or 3 questions and then they'll ghost you, and that can happen. Does it happen most of the time? No. Close rate is something that I don't know if anybody here is familiar with, like retail sales or commission sales, background in that. So close is very important, right? And the general close rate, though it varies per industry, if you were to average it as a whole, is probably around a 20% close, which is, very, very good in a lot of cases when you're trying to sell high ticket items. And for us, I would say the close rate's even higher than that. Simon Sinek, who's one of the most well-known as far as leadership mentors and what is it, like life coaches, if you will, look up Simon Sinek when it comes to leadership, and you'll hear some really impressive things. But one of the things that he mentioned is that when you have something like a new iPhone, you have a new technology that's coming out, about 2% of your market will generally be your early adopters. And so 2% of any given market will generally be the first on board. And then following that and preceding that, you'll have your secondary adopters, and then everybody else in the middle. And then, the last, veteran who says, okay, well, I guess vinyl is dead. I'll buy, an iPod or whatever. So based on that, we're looking at the known market based on almost 2 years worth of research with consulting with several influential people within the business. And we have pinpointed around 635 active wrestling federations, including your big ones. So if you were to take the big ones and say, even take about 30 promotions off the board, and you just took it to about 600 promotions that would be available to be on the app. We're currently sitting right now at almost 12% of the market. That's a huge early adopter number for the platform, and that's before the commercial that we're getting ready to launch, before the next referral contest, before we even launch. So I think it says that most of the industry gets it. Most of the industry sees it when they are given the opportunity to. And then there's some that are always going to be a little skeptical. And it's hard not to be when you're in a business where you unfortunately run into promoters that say handshake and a hot dog's all you're going to get because I didn't have the attendance I was looking for. I had a couple really good friends of mine that thought they had a multi-million-dollar deal worked out with a big TV company that turned out to be a scam and flushed 20 good wrestlers right out of the business because they were absolutely destroyed emotionally as well as financially by this, scam company that came through. So there's a lot of reason to be skeptical, and that's part of the reason that we work so hard to make this platform as free as possible. And if you are spending money in the platform, to leave as much money in the talent pocket, the fan pocket, the promoter pocket as possible, with the expectation that as this platform grows with the kind of numbers that we've discussed, that advertisers and affiliates will be able to float the company as they did any other social media. And that's what we're hoping for.
I know you, Mike had kind of brought it up, and you that like the a wrestler can get a profile for free, promoter get profile for free. What's some of the stuff that you would have to pay for if you have one of those profiles?
Yeah. So the things that you would have to pay for is either a membership. Memberships would have certain advantages to them over the free profile, just as you expect with a lot of other, app programs out there, or per booking. Because anytime money exchanges through the app, right, just like any other app, the processor of that money is going to take a percentage, and in this case, it'll be Stripe. Stripe and PayPal are going, neck to neck as the two biggest in the world when it comes to processing, and they're going to charge, a couple of cents for every transaction that goes through. So we have to make sure that they get paid that end, because I can't do business for you. I can't afford to, do business for all 600. So you'll pay somewhere around $1 to $3, depending on the bookings that you're doing through the app, which, considering $1 or $3 is about as less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. I think we're keeping it really, really low. And then the idea of having memberships is that, you'd have even less charged, or you can even do unlimited cashless bookings where you and the talent can agree on your membership that you don't have to transfer the money in order to use the features like ratings, reviews, and schedule locking.
Yeah, and it'll be the design of it too. When we were talking about it, is everybody knows that there's these pop-up wrestling companies and these guys that just have they have the first of the year money, tax money, and they're not gonna be around for very long, or they're running out of backyards every week and just doing it for fun basically, and not putting a show on together. And so when it comes to a booking agent on the app, I don't want to waste my time with those people, because they're not going to book. I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars to book names, and then I get a phone call, or I get a message from somebody that's running out of their backyard. Well, I want to book so and so. How much is so and so? Blah blah so and so. And that starts eating up my time as well, as myself messaging a name saying, hey, I know you're in this area, how much you want to do this for, blah, 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 blah. So it starts eating up a lot of time. Well, most people, when it comes to money, no matter how much it costs, or whether it's $5.99 or $50.99, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to pay it just to get on there to talk to me about somebody that they're never going to book.
Exactly.
They're invested in it because they spend a little bit of money on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we call it skin in the game.
Yep, skin in the game.
And not only is it wasting your time, if they somehow do come up with the money and you book a name for them, and then that name goes there and has a bad experience, that comes back and makes you look bad because you were the one that got that name, that booking.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. There's another company, the AIWF, which, I think a lot of wrestling community has already heard of. They won't tend to approach somebody until they have some tenure.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. As a promoter, what's the biggest thing about this app that you like from a promoter's view?
I mean, you're going to have all the wrestlers from around the United States and hopefully in the future around the world in the palm of your hand. So everybody, it always gets talked about a lot. You got the same people, you got the same people, you got the same people. And that goes for all the promotions around because you only have so many people in your area. Well, then
so far for so much money, yeah.
Yeah, and then as a promoter, how are you going to book an indie talent that your crowd don't even know, which the app will help your crowd to know because they can research them? How can you book somebody and pay for a plane ticket for an indie worker and all this stuff and make it feasible for the company to get new people on there? Well, now you have everybody at the palm of your hand. You can get a hold of somebody that's on the independent scene and go, I want to try you out. How much you charge? Well, if say, hey, get my plane ticket and I'll just do the show for you, or I'll find my own way there. You just give me my guarantee.
Yep.
That's going to be tremendous for all promoters because everybody will be at the palm of their hand. There isn't going to be going to Facebook, going to all these different social medias and strolling and searching and putting names in and, oh, so-and-so said this and everything. It's all right there. I can literally with the app, you can go, okay, I'm in Indiana. I want to look at all the wrestlers in Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois because they're my surrounding states. Those wrestlers are going to drive to me. Right here, palm of my hand. So now you're pulling in different talent, making your crowd, they already enjoy your show, so they're coming to your show anything, but you're giving them that new look that they can look at, and you're filtering people in. Yep. And it's good, and it's going to be a lot easier because of the app.
What about as a wrestler? What would you think? What would you, as a wrestler perspective, with the app? Would it be that it's getting your name out all in one place to possibly 300 different promotions?
Yeah, I mean, you name a time in the wrestling business that you could literally put your profile in front of hundreds of promoters around the United States. I'll tell you, zero. There's been 0 times in professional wrestling that you could put your profile, and unless you made it to the big leagues and put yourself on TV and made it to where you're on TV to put your profile in front of thousands of people, there has never been a time ever in professional wrestling that you could put your profile and see if you can get booked by other promoters in front of hundreds of promotions at a drop of a dime.
Yeah, that's one reason why I asked the question earlier about would it help wrestlers maybe get noticed by the bigger promotions? And I'm not going to say the wrestler's name because I don't have the permission to do that. But I was around a wrestler here recently who upset. He wants to make it. He wants to make it in the business,
Yeah.
And he's been in the business for a few years, not a long time, 2-3 years. He feels like he has something to offer, but he can't get in any doors. He can't get. I don't know anybody, and he was really frustrated. I think this would be perfect, and I'm not saying he will make it. I mean, how many people do make it? I mean, I'm just being honest. But right. I think the guy's talented, and I think the guy has a chance. But this would help get him looked at by, like you said, a lot of promotions. And the more promotions you looked at, or the more promotions that you work, especially if it's the East Coast or the West Coast or somewhere like that. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't be discovered in Indiana, but just my opinion, I think you probably have a better chance of being discovered on the East Coast or the West Coast or certain places.
Yeah, I mean it's still networking. I mean, it's still networking no matter what. And in the professional wrestling business, you have to know somebody. I mean, it is what it is. Unless you're going to Full Sail University as a student, and you're a great athlete, and you look great, you're not going to get into WWE unless you know somebody.
Well, that makes it harder now because they're looking at athletes.
Yeah. So now with the app, now you're networking to all these different promotions that could possibly know somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially like Bill said about schools, for instance. So everybody that knows me knows that I've been friends with Rikishi for 20 years. How hard is it for me to bring up the app and go, hey, Oos, check this guy out. Maybe he can come to Knox Pro get reputable training at Knox Pro, and Keish makes the phone call to somebody and goes, "Hey, you need to check this kid out." And then boom, now the kid's in the door because he went and got reputable training, and it was all because he networked. And say that person was in Oregon that was trying to get out there, and he saw my company or saw, all the guys that I bring in and stuff like that, and he reached out to me to talk to me about it because of the app. Before the app, guy from Oregon ain't going to know who the hell I am. I mean, they ain't going to know anything about me, but because of the app, they will.
Exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what business you're in. Networking is how you get jobs. Networking is how you get promoted. Networking is how you get that better job. And so I would ask anybody who's a fan of wrestling, supports wrestling, promoter, or talent of any kind involved in wrestling, why would you set up a profile on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, free platforms, and not set up a free profile on the only social media platform designed specifically to get you exposed to the industry that you love and you want to be exposed to?
If you're passionate about the business, it's a no-brainer.
Especially what you were saying earlier, because I don't think a lot of people realize how algorithms work. But like on Facebook, YouTube, and all that, you can have 2,000 subscribers, but just because when you put out a post, there's only a small percentage that is going to see that post. Unless you're getting a lot of likes and shares and comments and all that stuff. But if you're not getting that stuff, you have 1,000 followers, there might only be 50, 60 people that see that post. Or on that app.
Yep, you're getting drowned out by everything else because there's 1,000 voices shouting in the dark. And we're saying, well, all the wrestlers, the wrestling fans, the referees, the managers, the promoters, here's a home for you so that your voice, it's all singing the same song. Pro wrestling.
Marcus, did you have a question?
Did you say something?
Yeah.
Marcus, wake up, Bob. Wake up, Marcus.
I'm just listening to it. I think this is fantastic.
I love that.
I mean, I don't know anything else I can improve on for you, but I would definitely use it just to see where I could go, where I could see, and once you open up the fan part of it, I can review because I know a lot of people.
Well, Marcus
I
is
love it.
this build the 67 under Marcus's name. That's how many wrestling shows, independent wrestling shows, he's been to this year.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, he is the fan of the fan of the fan. He is the man. If there's knowledge out there about wrestling, he has it.
Yeah.
And he also continues to go to all the shows and keeps the knowledge going and keeps pushing people.
Yeah, my hope is one day we can have Marcus on there as a super fan.
Well, I'm already a super fan.
We'll have to make badges and stuff like they do.
Yeah, definitely. On the back burner, but there's a lot of stuff that we're wanting to do for fans as well. This is where we're starting.
Yeah, Marcus, you get grandfathered in, bub.
All right, sounds fantastic.
Like I did, and this is not necessarily with the app, but I've got a question for you. Maybe it is because it's going to help promote the app in a way.
Sure.
I see these organizations do these seminars, and they say that they're tryouts for certain companies and stuff like that, but they're charging 50, 60, 70, $100 for this wrestler to come in. Do any of them guys really get a tryout? Is it really a tryout, or is it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
It depends. Yeah, it really does.
But yeah, for sure. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And I think Mike would agree with me. You want to pay attention to the name that's doing that, right? Yeah. If it's Al Snow who's running it, then you can pretty well bet your ass you're going to get something out of it. Even if it's just the most important lesson in your career, but at least you know who that is. If it's Bobby Kiwi, like who is he to be charging you $50, and how do you know he's going to get you on television? Like, if it sounds to be true, it normally is. So, You have to earn it one way or the other, even for the real tryouts and the real seminars. Just pay attention to who you're giving your money.
Yeah, it's like when the Good Brothers were on Impact, they started doing a lot of stuff with Ricky Morton, with Ricky Morton's promotion, which he's an affiliate of Overdriver.
Yep,
he is on board. Ricky Morton's School of Morton is a part of Overdriver already.
Yep.
And they did a lot of tryouts with I almost called them by their shoot names, Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah.
For TNA Impact. For Impact tryouts. And a lot of guys got looked at from Impact, but they were also charging, I think, $100 a person. But it was also done at the School of Morton. So not only did you get looked at by Impact, but you also got looked at by Ricky to bring you on to School of Morton, which also is going to push you anywhere you wanted to go because Ricky's connected with every single major promotion that's out there.
Yep. Times two.
He's connected to NWA too.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, and so yeah, there are going to be some of those where they just try to work the gimmick on you. I go, so and so's running a wrestling seminar, even if it's a name. Some promotions try to put that out there as the name is searching for talent for a certain company, and they're just trying to get more people there to make money. You just have to be careful on where you go.
Yeah, and hopefully over time we'll build in ways to rate and review that and help people to identify the good ones. But it takes time to come up with all the solutions. So we welcome anybody who loves wrestling, has an idea how we can make this thing work even better. Join us at overdriver.org. Sign up to the launch list. Let us hear your opinion because we are trying to make the business better than we found it. We can't do it alone.
Now, if you sign up for the launch list now, once it launches, do you already have a profile on the app or?
No, so that gives us your email so we can notify you on the official launch date, update you on contests, and then if you're a talent or a promoter, it'll let us assist you as far as sharing like your show posters and whatnot on our reels and our social medias during the waiting time, right? It's our way of trying to help the business while we're building the app to help the business. But we need people to be involved so that we can say, hey, it's up and running, join us, and then again, we have contests. The last one was for 100. The next one will be for 200. And as we're doing these contests, we want to notify our community so they have a chance to win cash.
I know, like earlier it got brought up, like for DCCW, for example, like Mike said, if we were on there and we sold tickets and we were getting like $2 for each ticket or whatever, do you get paid through the app?
Yeah, so that's the way it's currently.
Does it go through the app and you get paid through PayPal or whatever service you're using?
Stripe is a service that we're using. And so that would be, it would be through the app. It's designed to be as seamless as possible, and so your profile would be through the app. The affiliate program is developed within the app. The commission structure, the amount of tickets you can sell, what you're setting prices for, those are all built into the app.
Yep.
Mike, how did you get hooked up into this app?
A very persistent lady.
Yeah. Mrs. Overdriver is fearless when she goes recruiting, and she discovered Mike and was persistent with getting him involved. And now me and Mike are brothers from different mothers and didn't know it.
Yeah, that is true. I got a random message on Messenger, and I was like, hey, hi, I'm so and so, and the spiel. We would like to talk to you more about this app. And I'm like, are they trying to get my my blood, my DNA to try to steal my identity, type of thing? It is not. They don't try to steal your identity or anything. But I sent a message back. I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to hear more about it. And then we set up an interview, and I completely missed it because I had a lot of things going on, and me and Bill missed each other in the first interview.
Hard to believe.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know. Showed Bill on the first one,
I only cried a little bit. It's okay.
and then I was like, you know what? Let's do this. And funny thing about it is when we talked, I was sitting at the airport waiting on some names to get in to take to a show. So I was in the middle of doing other stuff when we did actually sit down and talk about.
That don't shock me either. That don't shock me at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're passionate about stuff and you want stuff to work, and like he said, he brought up Simon Sinek, knowing your why are you doing stuff? That's one of his big speeches is knowing your why.
Yeah,
and
it's super important.
Super important on trying to build stuff is knowing your why, and I love the business. I love interacting with people. I love trying to build as much as I possibly can and trying to figure out how I can connect the dots with everything I'm doing too. So, why not try to put everything that you do in a big folder rather than having a bunch of small folders?
Yeah, that's it.
So I try to connect everything I do. So getting, as soon as I heard Bill's spiel on Overdriver, I believe I was like, well, Bill, I think you got me pretty much sold on this. Let's talk more about it.
Yeah.
I said, I'm in. I said, it's gonna revolutionize independent wrestling and the wrestling genre in general. I said, this sounds like a great concept. Let's just go for it.
Let's go for it. Let's do it.
And then we were talking about how I also book talent and do merch and all that stuff too. And I was like, is there going to be a booking agent page or profile on there? And he's like, well, we kind of talked about it, but we really didn't have, because anything you got to do, you got to study, you got to have the knowledge, you got to know how people do certain things. So, Bill started talking about that to try to get that update going and make it a very rounded app for everybody.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think the app also could help. I hope it don't make anybody mad, but it could weed out some of these promoters who, like you said, really ain't very good promoters and really don't care about the business. Who's trying to put some money in their pockets if they can, anybody's expense.
You got the promoters out there do the backyard,
make them do better.
Do smaller shows that they don't care about, or you got wrestlers in their organizations that are beating up fans out in their parking lot. I mean, just stupid stuff like that. That's what this app is going to be made for. Is those promotions need to get the hell out of the business, and those wrestlers need to get the hell out of the business. Because if you're putting your hands on people, get out of here.
But there's not currently any kind of system in place to even motivate that, whether it be for the positive and to elevate or the negative, right? It all gets lost in translation. You hear about a promoter beating up some audience member or whatever in the parking lot. Maybe 30 people on Facebook hear about it. How does that change the business? How does that make the business aware? How does it alert the business? We need something more permanent, more formatted, and more universal. And that's what we're going for both the positives and the negatives, so that we can elevate this business on a new level.
Here's something, Bill, that we hadn't thought about yet. We might put it in our notebook.
All right.
Is admins of the app.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to have a side group for instances that are safety related and that are poor publicity related and whatnot, that we need to keep track of that, because like you said, maybe 30 people hear about it. Well, if the right person that's not a part of Overdriver hears about it, we'll never hear about it.
Yep.
And if the person's not booked on the show, or a wrestler wasn't booked for that promoter, we can't really leave a review about it. So maybe we have a side thing that says, like even like a scroll, like he has right here on Gonzo's, has a scroll across the screen. Blah 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 company, wrestler beats up fan in parking lot in this town. Watch out. Something along those lines. Obviously the group of people have to do their due diligence and study it, make sure that the information that we're going to put out there is accurate. But I think that would be a very vital thing to do with inside the business as well.
Yeah, no, and I think that definitely warrants a deeper look. What I like to tell people all the time is Amazon started out selling books. That's all they did. That's all they did. We're going to start out ratings and reviews, a universal database for booking, affiliate commissions, and secured transactions. And I think that's a good place to start. But we have plenty more that we're working on with booking agents, with schools, with other affiliates that do things like title making and championship making. And there's a lot of work to be done with venues and certifications and licenses and insurance. And there's just a lot that we intend to get into. So hopefully this gives you a sneak peek on what we're starting with, but we have big dreams to do everything that we can to synergize the business and put all the necessary resources there to help talent succeed, to help promoters succeed, and to help fans succeed in supporting the industry we all love.
Absolutely.
I think the reviews could help the promoters too, because you mentioned venues. Like say a guy said, "Hey, I love the wrestling show, but the venue, the bathrooms were terrible, or the way the seating was set up, it was hard to see where I was sitting at, or different things." Because not every, if I'm a fan, if I got a problem, I would go to the promoter and say so. Not everybody's that bold, but they might get on and do a review. I love this show, but this was something that I didn't care for. If that promoter sees that, he has the opportunity to correct it. Because if you don't know about it, how can you correct it?
Right.
Yeah,
well,
just like a lot of people complain about, and this goes around a lot of different places, is, they might like the wrestling, but they cannot stand, because for some ungodly reason, there's people in our industry that thinks that they have to commentate over a live microphone during a match.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, I'm like, do you go to WWE, AEW? Do you go to any of these shows and hear them live over the microphone while you're in the stadium? No, they're hooked up to a monitor. They're doing it over the live broadcast to the people on TV, not the people sitting in the crowd. So, like, people can get on there and review. The fans can get on there and review about the promotion, and say, "Man, the wrestling was awesome, but those guys on the microphone the entire show were horrible." Makes me not want to come back.
And thanks to Google, to Yelp, to Amazon, like everybody in the world is being submitted for ratings and reviews these days. There's no reason our industry is going to be immune to that. It's a matter of taking control of the narrative and putting it in a way that helps us the most. And that's what we're trying to do.
And when a promotion signs up to get on the app, is there like a review process they have to go through, so that it's not one of those maybe like backyard promotions or something like that?
Yeah. So right now the review process is I contact the promoters and I get in touch with them and try to see, learn a little bit more about them, try to see what their vision is, try to see how it lines up with our vision. But we're not trying to cut anybody out, because I think at that point we are kind of becoming a little prejudiced, if you will, and we're trying not to do that. We need promotions that are backyard, promotions that are poorly run, have bad morality or bad operations. We need them to come on board and hang themselves. I can't hang them. It's like the Minority Report. Like, I can't execute you for a crime you haven't committed yet. If you're Junkyard Federation, your option is to come on board and elevate your game so you get better ratings or reviews, or be identified for what you are. And at that point be highlighted. It's not my place to play judge and jury. The only thing that I'm trying to do is to make sure fake federations that don't exist, that don't have venues, that don't have shows, don't clog the pipes, right? Yeah. And then everybody else, historic reviews are going to take care of you for better or worse. That's, and that's what you have to work for, is for the better, and nothing's going to come to you on a golden platter. So you want a 5-star review, earn it.
Yep.
It's either get better or die. I mean,
Yeah, and that's any industry. We just I think we need to do a little bit better of a job of holding that standard out there. And I think that's going to help talent to thrive. I think it's going to help fans get better quality shows, and I think it's going to help promoters to either grow or find out that they're not really promoters; they're marks with money, and they need to move on.
Do we know any marks with money?
A few. I think we know a few.
I know one of them don't have money, but they still trying to run shows.
No, I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going to help a lot because, like you said, like when we're talking about wrestler beating up a fan in the parking lot or something, there's only maybe 20, 30 people that's even found out about that, even know about that, because you've only seen it maybe one spot where you get on an app like this and you get reviews and everything. You're going to have to improve your business, or you're not going to be around, or because people are going to choose to go to the better promotions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're really excited about bringing that to the industry. Yeah, and working with guys like Mike King has only made that process even more exciting, and now to be connected with, I know. But to be connected with so many exciting projects across the board, we had Ricardo Rodriguez running Three Legacies Wrestling, and they had a 2,200 person attendance 2 weekends ago. And to see that kind of success on what you would call indie wrestling is phenomenal. And to be working with the School of Morton, to be working with MATW and all these great promotions, I won't lie. I've seen one or two come on board that I question, are you guys going to be able to compete? But it's not for me to judge. I got to give you an opportunity to run with the big boys, and hopefully by connecting you with these big boys, maybe you can learn the tools to be successful. You can make the right connections, and you can grow and blossom into a promotion that makes us proud. And if not, that is what it is. At least we'll be able to identify it.
Yep, they'll tell on themselves.
Mike, is there any other? If you don't want to answer this question, that's fine. Or and you definitely don't have to say the promotions. Are there any other promotions in Indiana signed up so far?
Yeah.
Indiana, we have FEW, AWR, RCW, STW, DCCW, SPW, and IPW. So yes.
Okay. You didn't have to give me the names, but that's fine.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Quite a few in Indiana.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah, quite a few in Indiana. We have over 20 in North Carolina, and Georgia is coming up pretty close. I think Indiana, Georgia are like neck and neck racing for our number 2 spot in most promotions. But see, North Carolina doesn't have any kind of licensing, so it makes it a lot easier for somebody to get the tax money, set up a ring, and start moving some tickets.
And then it just goes to show you, anybody that's watching that's from Indiana that knows me, with helping Bill out on things and whatnot and conversing with him and everything. As Bill said, we're not turning anybody down. We're letting them get on there because he named some promotions that I don't see eye to eye with the promoter. I didn't go to Bill and say, hey, don't have them a part of this. This is a horrible idea. They're not going to do us any good, blah, 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 blah. Because it's not about us. It's about the wrestling company, or the wrestling as an organization, as its own. And they're going to feed themselves out. And we want to worry about it anyway.
Yeah, do better or die.
Yeah, step up or step out of it. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna go to Bill and say, hey, now I got a personal issue with this guy, and their company's not that good, blah blah blah. We probably shouldn't have. No, I'm not going to do that. And just the list alone that Bill said can prove that.
Yeah, so it's a clean slate. So let's out of the gate, let's see how everybody does when ratings and reviews start stacking up. Talent starts saying, hey, I worked for this company. This is what it looks like, and this is a 5-star promotion. This is a 1-star promotion, and everything in between. So this is the clean slate to kind of identify the industry and make it more transparent.
Yep. I by no means think my promotion hurts the industry. I'm very proud of my promotion. I'm proud of what we do and what we can provide the fans, and I can't wait for reviews to come out on that and see fan reviews and wrestler reviews and all that stuff. So I don't need to prove anything to some of the other promotions because I'm proud of what we do now, and it's only going to go up from there, and the reviews are only going to help us.
That's right. Yeah, it always helps. Always helps. You know, and if you get a complaint, no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, if you get a complaint or you get a low rating, it gives you the opportunity to address it, you know, or you know, accept your fate and move on. You know, but you know, a lot of businesses when I was in commission retail, like if you got a bad review, your number one priority was go figure out a way to make that customer happy.
Yeah, Mike, I like what you said. You know, you're proud of what you guys have done, but you know, that was yesterday. Let's go out and let's do better. You know, let's move on. Let's continue to get better. Not, you know, not rest on your laurels and say, well, we did this. Well, that was then. I mean, I'm not trying to, you know, you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing and get better and not be the status quo. So I like that.
Yeah, and that's what I try to go by, and that's why I think I've had the success I've had, not only with DCCW, but with gimmick promotions and merch and all the stuff that I am doing around and running into Bill and partnering up with him with Overdriver as well. And I mean, everything, I stay positive. I keep pushing. And it seems like the world or the universe just brings stuff to me to make it better. I guess it's that good karma, bad karma stuff, right?
That's how it works.
Yep. Now I'm gonna let you in on the joke, Mike. When you went off the air the first time, I didn't know you was in North Carolina. I didn't know you was in North Carolina. I figured you was in the Smoky Mountains, maybe hanging out with some family or something. I didn't know.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah. I had to jump up and do a tour real quick.
There you go.
He was on the break from the bus tour. I didn't know.
Hey, I will tell you guys that I am running low on some juice. So if I do get kicked off here, I will not be getting back on after that one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate
What was you going to say, Marcus?
I was going to say, once these reviews start coming in, will they go directly to the promoter, to the wrestler, so they can see it, or do the wrestler and the promoter's got to go into the app to get them? Or will they get an email of a summary of here's what we found, this is what you got, this is what was said, or do they got to go look for it?
Yeah, so I do, you know, I need to double check that with the app company, but I would be under the impression that that they would get a notification as soon as it was finished. But that they will always have the ability to go back and scan all their reviews and ratings.
Yeah, but it will, correct me if I'm wrong, it will go out publicly on the app. The review will. Yeah, that'll go out publicly no matter what, but it'll notify that promotion or that wrestler, hey, somebody just made a review about you.
Right. Yeah. And then, if there's any violations of the guidelines, as we've discussed, we'll be notified of it, and then we'll address appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, if it's blatant lies and reviews and stuff, and like if a wrestler just didn't like the promotion or how they were treated in their own mind, because there's a lot of that out there, obviously we're going to have the ability to investigate it. And if the promoter can prove that none of that stuff happened, then obviously that review is going to come off of there. Right, Bill?
Well, I mean, that's something we could definitely, on a case-by-case basis, you know, address. Yeah. I think our primary is, you know, avoiding anything that is threats, anything that is, you know, a direct violation of human rights, is in any kind of racism or sexism or creedism or ageism, you know, that is just hate speech, you know, that's, you know, immediate violations. But anytime that there's a rating or review that is brought to our attention, we'll have to address with both parties before we make any kind of decisions on.
Right. I mean, just like for sheer instance, you get a lot of wrestlers that get disgruntled and say, well, the promoter didn't pay me what he promised me. Well, that could hurt a promotion. That could hurt a promotion in somebody's eyes that is a decent wrestler that's like, well, we're not going to mess with that promotion anymore just because that review is out there. So, give us the ability to go and say, hey, tell us about this review. Did you really not pay the wrestler what you promised to pay him? No,
Right.
I have the messages right here. They lied about that. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, and it'll be even more difficult to do that when you have secure transactions, right?
Correct.
Your secure transactions are going to be automated, and that's going to eliminate a lot of that circumstance. And in the case that you're doing memberships and you're doing cashless bookings, I really feel that for the most part, that's only going to be utilized by individuals that have already an understanding and a working relationship in order to do that. But again, we'll address all the problems as they come up when they come up, as we can.
And then, like, if you have violations of the community standards, like so many times, will it make it where you can't leave a review or something? Like if you're doing hate speech or racism or something like that, and you do it more than so many times, will it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to speak to an exact amount of times at this moment. We're still working on our guidelines, our terms and conditions, our community guidelines and policies. But there's little tolerance for just outright hate. This is not a platform for abuse. This is not a platform for threats. This is a platform for business. And if you can't act like a professional, then unfortunately we can't continue to use you. And I think anywhere that you would work would have those same kind of standards. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to mute people if they have an argument, or disagreement with somebody on storylines or the direction of the career or whatever. But when it comes down to hating on a human being, we can't have a tolerance for that. We need to operate this as a business. We certainly don't want, a lot of dirty laundry, right? This isn't designed for that. It's designed to elevate. People will hang themselves and put themselves in bad positions to do that. But we're trying to build a community of positive and of growth. And the idea isn't to put DCCW against all the other promotions in Indiana. It's to unite all the promotions in the United States so that we work against all the other businesses that we're contending with, the MMAs and other combat sports and combat juggling and all of the other things that, are vying for the American dollar. And we're just trying to say, hey, pro wrestling, we deserve our spot, and it will work out a lot better if we work as a community than if we, work as a family fighting at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, but Chris, like you said, obviously there's going to be some of those things that just won't be tolerated at all. You do something stupid that it's stupid, race, sex, gender, stuff like that. You just won't be a part of the app no more. I mean, that's an easy cancel button. Cancel gold. I hate cancel. I hate it so much.
But that's how it should be. If you're not, like you said, it's a business. If you're not on there to do business, if you're on there, there's enough areas on social media where there's already too much hate and all that stuff going on. You don't need to be brought into something that's supposed to be for business.
Absolutely. This is either to make the business more efficient or to support professional wrestling. That's what it's for. And if you're not there for either of those two purposes, then we're definitely missing, right?
Guys, my phone just flashed at me. I love y'all.
Love you, Mike. Thanks for all your support, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, later, Mike. Enjoy your vacation.
I try.
All right. Did you have anything else? Nope. Well, Bill, was there anything that we haven't covered about the app that you was wanting to get out there?
No. I think we pretty well covered it all. It's supporting all three pillars of professional wrestling. Any kind of a wrestling promoter, any kind of wrestling talent, whether you're a wrestler, a referee, a photographer, a ring crew, and any kind of wrestling fan. If you love wrestling, this is a free app, a social media platform directly for you. Go to overdriver.org, sign up to our launch list, become part of our family. We'd love to get your feedback, keep you involved in the contests that we're doing, and let you know as soon as we're ready to launch, which is slated to be early 2024. And you can find us on Overdriver LLC on both Facebook and Instagram, and also YouTube. Although we don't have a lot of YouTube content as of yet, more will be coming.
Chris, I think it'd be great to maybe have him back on, maybe close to lunchtime.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. If you want to come on when you get close to lunchtime in 2024, you're more than welcome to.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate this invite as well as that invite. It's an absolute honor to be here, and thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Marcus, did you have anything?
No, I think it sounds fantastic. I'm ready for this to go. See what we can do.
Absolutely, I love it. Let's get you on our launch list. We get you.
I'll be getting on that launch list here.
I just wrote it down. So we're done, I'll be on there.
I love that, gentlemen. I appreciate it. No, we love the support.
Well, we'll be able to use, like you said, with the podcast and stuff. We will be able to use the app.
Yep, absolutely.
For that stuff as well.
100%.
I mean, we go to as a show. We go to anywhere from 4 to 6 shows a month, usually somewhere around there.
We've been to
sometimes a little less, and then
we've been to 43 so far.
We've done 43 shows this year so far that we've either live streamed or that we went and recorded and aired on our social media later. And then Marcus does commentary with us all those shows, and then he's been 67 just on his that he just goes as a fan to as well. So,
yeah, that's
we see a lot of wrestling. We've been mostly in Indiana, but we've been to Ohio.
Yes.
No, Marcus has been to Illinois, Kentucky,
and one in Tennessee. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love to have you guys there and have you involved. And I'll notify you here in the next day or two when the contest begins. Once you sign up to the Overdriver launch list, then if you start referring people, make sure that they have your names, because that's what we're going to hold the next cash contest for, is for referrals.
And I'll be honest with you. Once I saw that Mike King was on board with it, that was enough for me, because if it wasn't for Mike, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. He's a great dude. So you got you a good guy there to be part of it.
Yeah, no, he's a very special part of the Overdriver family, and we know it. Thank you for the reassurance, though.
Hey, I got another question. You're talking like any type of promotion, because I'm good friends with the
wrestling promotion.
What's that?
Wrestling promotion.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. I'm decent friends with the micro wrestlers out of Pigeon Forge.
Absolutely.
So are the micros and all the midget companies? Okay, good.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna confirm once I don't have a micro company on board right now. As soon as we do, I just want to make sure that we're using the term that they're most comfortable with, whether it's micro or midget wrestling. I know is what it used to be called. Now it's micro. I just want to make sure that we're using the term they're most comfortable with. But we currently have it slated as micro right now on the app. So we already have the intention of having them involved.
Okay, good deal.
And Marcus, you know a lot of promotions here in Indiana that.
Yeah, I was thinking of some that didn't hit the list yet. I'll get to talking to them about it. So.
Yeah, definitely might be interested.
Yeah, perfect. Well, guys, I appreciate that. Yeah, and if anybody has a question or whatever, I'm easy to find on Facebook, and I even have my cell phone on the website, so people can text me or call me if necessary.
Okay, well, sounds great. Hey, we appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thank you very much, gentlemen. You guys have a blessed night.
You too. You have a good evening. All right, I thought that was real interesting. Yeah. I learned a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be beneficial for the show. I mean, getting these databases with all these wrestlers, maybe we can get more interviews. Maybe we could find more shows that we would be interested in going to, or they may be interested in bringing us in possibly. So,
and interviews too.
Definitely. And definitely.
Billy, I will do that. I'll actually give that name. Actually, what I will do, I will give that name to Mike King.
Yep.
SFCW.
Marcus, it definitely could be beneficial for you because you like to travel, and I could, this is, I think there's going to be some bugs, because I think there's bugs with anything new. The review system may need some work. I mean, because like Mike said, perfect example, a guy could come in and agree, hey, promoter could offer $100, and he said, okay, yeah, I'll come in for $100, but in his mind, you know how egos are, I'm really worth 150, but he'll go there, do the show, and then later on say, well, he underpaid me, even though he agreed, to that amount. I mean, that would be some bugs that they may have to work out. But hey, you know, there's bugs with everything. Anything new, there's bugs and problems.
Well, like you said, you'll have the first version that comes out, and then there'll be there'll be an updated version of the app that'll come out but also, where they can address some of the problems.
Also, with the proof of the paying, though, I mean, he had to agree to that amount because he's got a receipt that he got paid that amount, so he had to agree to it.
Well, and that's one thing, like he said, if they book through the app, that'll take care of that because it'll be right. It'll show right there.
Be a record for everybody.
Yeah. And I don't know if you were you listening from the beginning?
No, I came in about the time I started it up, and I thought, I'll see if I can just get on there. That's about the time I've gone on. So
okay, because like Mike had said, like even with us as with the podcast or whatever, we can be on there, and if we sell tickets, if they buy the tickets using our link that we put out, then we would get it, whatever, if it's $2 or $1, whatever he sets it at, we would get that off each ticket that you sell using that link.
Wow.
As well. And wrestlers can do that. So say, I don't know, just off the top of my head, Logan Myers, if he's wrestling for DCW and he gets 20 people to buy tickets using that link,
he could get a couple bucks a ticket.
Yeah, he can get money off each ticket. Plus whatever he.
Dirty Birds fan.
Yeah, it
The
could
whole
work
Dirty
for
Birds
anybody.
family could just have them all buy the tickets off the app, and the Dirty Birds will be walking away with quite a bit of money. So
that's a big thing that I know promoters complain about. Wrestlers get booked on the show, but you never see anything on their Facebook. Hey, I'm even going to be at this show.
Yeah, they don't promote
or don't promote it at all, but they still expect their money. You know, and the promoters putting all this work in, and the promoters, you know, they're kind of at the. I mean, a promoter could work his butt off. I've known promoters who work their butt off. It could be just a bad day and only 40 people show up, but all them wrestlers are expecting their money still. And I'm not taking sides at all. I see it from both.
If everybody puts the effort into it, it'll be better for everybody.
Yeah, if every wrestler, if there's 18 wrestlers on your card, and each one of them could sell 2 tickets, that's 36 more tickets, you know, in the door. And if that promoter booked can get 100 through the door, now we got 136 in the door. I mean, every little bit helps, and it's going to help everybody get paid. It's going to help everybody make money.
Billy, that number is the number of shows that I have attended so far this year. This weekend will be the tie weekend. Last year I went to 69. We will hit 69 on Saturday. Starting next weekend, the record starts going.
How if we both stay healthy, what do you think you're going to end up at?
Well, my original goal was 80, but at this rate, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet. I would like to see 100. At the rate we're going, if you divide all that out, I think that's a plausible number. We will see. But if we hit 80, I'll be happy with 80. And then right now 70 was the goal. And like I said, we'll hit that next weekend. And I wanted to try 80. I think we might be able to pull off 90, depending on if the weather.
I would say at least 90.
Yeah.
Just depending on how the weather.
Yeah, the weather.
Yeah, the weather's a big thing too. Not just not health, weather also.
Yeah. Because we've just lucked out being able to start 1st of January the last 2 years because the weather's not been bad.
Yeah.
Because normally we can't get started till about March or April because the snow's really bad and we don't walk in snow. And
I don't think we did too bad on questions because I didn't know anything really about the apps. You know.
I thought it went good. I thought we found out a lot about the app.
Yep. Well, it'll be interesting if it, like you said, it's going to weed out the bad, and it's going to star power the good. And like you said, either the bad companies or the poor companies are going to either step up to the plate, or they're going to go under because the fans are going to see this and says, "Well, why bother if you're not going to make an effort?"
Well, perfect example. If a wrestler has a chance of benefit, if I can get 10 people go sell tickets, there's another 20, $20 or whatever, whether it's $2 a ticket or $1 a ticket or $3 a ticket, whatever the price is. That's another way for the wrestlers to make money.
Billy, it has been hot here. Today wasn't as bad.
No,
But we've been in the 90s quite a bit the last couple of weeks.
Next week or so, it's going to be 70s.
Yeah, today it's cooled off a little bit. I think it was low 80s today.
Well, that's because all the outdoor shows are over with. So now the temperature's going to drop.
And I think one thing this app will do, I think it'll help independent wrestlers get booked more places than just the places that you're used to getting booked. Because like you said, you can put a profile on there and you can even, if I remember right, didn't he say you could even put a little bit of I can't remember if you could put any videos, but I know you could put pictures and promo pics and all that stuff on your profile.
I hope it will. I think it will. I just think that promoters get set in their ways, and I could be wrong because I'm not a promoter. But if you've got a guy coming in for you and he shows up all the time and he's a good guy and he's a good worker and he comes in for $30, you want to spend, okay, you got a guy that's going to come in. You've never had him before. Great worker. I mean, everybody knows he's a great worker, but he wants 50. I mean, it's just it's tough. And I'm not saying that promoters for not doing. He's trying to make money too. So it's just a tough situation.
But one thing it could
I think
help,
it goes if the crowds grow, then then you can grow.
One thing it can help too is fans getting on that app, because that's something we should ask them if there's a way for promoters to find out
who fans would like to see.
Yeah, which wrestlers the fans are looking at, like what profiles the fans are looking at the most.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a way on that app where the promoter can find that out. Like this guy's profile is getting 500 views a month. This guy's profile is getting 200 views a month. You know what I mean? I wonder if there's something on the app. We'll have to ask him that next time we talk to him, because if there's something like that, then I can help a promoter. Well, okay, this guy might want $50. He's 200 people looked at his profile over the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? That might help some of the promoters take a chance on a guy that they don't know. They see that they're getting a lot of eyeballs on their profile.
If they got markets on the Birds can bring in the people. That's going to help maybe book whoever, Meyer or somebody, if there's on 10 tickets or don't, that's different.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are breaking up. The only thing you have to do is anonymous or fake profiles, like what me and you talked about yesterday, Tony, with what you sent me or called me about. Fake profiles.
Yeah.
People getting on there with a fake profile, bashing people, and they're hiding behind their keyboard. If you looked at that thing you told me about yesterday, nobody's commented about
it.
Okay. Billy, Pizza King is where we're at. Actually, the drag strip is actually like 5 minutes from from our house. I mean, I can get on the bypass here and be at the drag strip in drag strip in 5 minutes.
Yeah, Pizza King is huge in Muncie. It's number one pizza in Muncie, has been for 50, 60 years. It's big in certain parts of Indiana. I don't know about all of Indiana, but Pizza King's quite a few places.
Yeah, we have in Muncie 4 or 5 Pizza Kings.
At least.
Wow.
Yeah.
See Miguel.
We got one. It keeps moving around, but we got one.
12th Street. I can think of at least 3 off the top of my head, but I think, and that's not counting like Albany, that's what's right outside of Muncie, Selma. Yeah, there's one right here. I forgot that one. Yeah, I can think of 6 off the top of my head that are within.
Yeah,
that are right here.
Yeah, Pizza King's. I think it's really good pizza. I grew up on it.
It's good. It's thin crust, which I like. I like thin crust pizza better than I do. Pan myself anyway. But yeah, it's a good pizza. Now, it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
No.
You're
cheap anymore.
gonna pay for some pizza.
Hey Billy, you can actually order it. I think online you can order.
Yeah, you can actually order it online, and they send it to you.
Yeah,
because you can actually, like, if you like, people out of town will buy frozen ones from the restaurants and take them home with them and stuff.
Yep, sure can.
Yeah, they're good. But all right,
Yeah, my.
we appreciate everybody watching tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go check out overdriver.org. Get on that that launch list. And I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna get on that launch list and check it out. See what it's all about once it launches. He said early 2024. So, I mean, we're in September now, so not too far from that.
3 or 4 months.
Marcus, real quick, where you going to be this weekend?
Friday we'll be at Wrestling Theology in Carmel. Yep. And Saturday we'll be down at Emerge in Columbus. Both shows have posted their match lineups, and both shows are going to be really good by what I'm seeing. So now you're going to have a whole lot of Jeremy Hadley this weekend. Yeah, I'll have to take some pills or something, but we'll get over it. You know you love Hadley. Yes, I do. I love Hadley. There ain't nobody like him. Marcus, I'll tell you what. Is there anybody hotter than Jeremy Hadley right now in Indiana? No. I don't think so. Well, look where he's at, though. He's everywhere. Everywhere. He literally is everywhere except the Dub and DCCW. I'm thinking that's just did WCW, though. He just did WCW.
Yeah, at that UAW show.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just a scheduling conflict why it's not. You don't see him at those venues like he did. It's not that they have troubles. It's just he's somewhere else.
Yeah, I think he's does at least. It seems like he's at least 2 places every weekend.
He's
if not 3, but it seems like he's at least at 2 shows every weekend.
If I was going to name a number 1 wrestler in Indiana right now, I'd have to say Jeremy Hadley. Yeah, he's hot. And I guess see Larry D. Is that his name, Larry D? That's that guy from Kentucky. I don't know that I've ever seen him, and I'll see him Saturday. I'm kind of excited to see that. Well, I've seen him on TV. He used to be on Impact Wrestling. But yeah, I'll be glad to finally see him in person. So, yep.
We appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, go check out Overdriver Llc on Facebook. You say Instagram, YouTube.
Yep.
Overdriver.org is their website. Go check it out. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram at Gonzo Sports Room as well. We greatly appreciate it. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Enjoy your Thursday night, and we will see you guys on Monday for GWR. But hope everybody has a great night.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.